Okay, so the last kind of problem you're going to see here is a table problem, which you're not going to see very many of these. And table problems are simply just ratio problems, but they're written in a table instead of sentences, and they're a little bit more extra. When you're doing these, it's important that you stay organized. This is a multi-step problem, so you need to make sure your work is organized. That is not organized. We're going to try that again. Organize your work. And again, remember, you can add 2 parts to get a total. In this problem, I'm talking about yellow paint and blue paint and getting a total green paint. I guess it would be more appropriate to do total green paint. When I add yellow plus blue, that equals the green paint. So, remember to add 2 parts to get a total. So I can fill in this first spot right here by adding 3.5 plus 5 1/4. Because I'm adding mixed numbers, 3 plus 5 gives me the 8. 1/4 plus 1/2. 1/2 is really just, I can rewrite that into 2/4. So that's going to give me 8 3/4. You could also turn those into decimals if you wanted to, as long as you don't have to round them. If you're dealing with repeating decimals, those have to be left as fractions. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to set up proportions. Just like we did with our ratio problems, we're going to set up a proportion. Start by determining what thing you need to find first. You're always going to be able to add 2 of them together to get a total. That's an easy point by just adding. Don't throw away that point. So I'm going to start off by first finding this yellow point. I'm going to call this A. This is what I'm missing. So looking for A, in that row, I have a total. So I have to use that only number I have in my proportion because that's what they're giving me. So 5 is going to be on the bottom, and that's what I'm missing. I'm going to put A on the top. That's what I'm missing. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm just using A because I'm going to have lots of different variables here. So A is yellow paint. So I'm putting yellow over a total. So what other information do I have for yellow and total? Well, I have that first row of information, which I'm going to absolutely use. So the yellow from that row is 3.5, which I'm just going to turn into 3.5. And the total is 8 3/4, which again, 3/4, 3 divided by 4 is 0.75. So I'm going to turn that into the decimal 8.75. And I'm just going to write this up here so you guys know. Where those came from. Okay, so now I can do my cross multiplication and make an equation. 8.75a is equal to 3.5 times 5. 3.5 times 5 is 17.5. Get rid of the multiplication by dividing both sides by 8.75. Divide 8.75 is equal to 2. So A is equal to 2. So in for A, I can put 2. Okay, this makes this pretty easy here to get this next one because 2 plus what has to equal the total of 5. 2 plus 3 equals that total of 5. All right, and now last but not least, I have the last row to deal with. Which one do you want to find first? It doesn't matter. You can pick either one. It's just going to be set up differently depending on which one you pick. So I'm going to go ahead and go with finding this total one. Let's call this B. Notice how I'm labeling and staying organized here. So B is a total, so I'm going to be using a total over the only other information I have in that row is the 6 3/4. This one I'm going to keep as a fraction when I do this one. So I'm going to turn that 6 3/4 into an improper. 6 times 4 is 24, 25, 26, 27 over 4. So total over blue is what I meant to put there before I got distracted. Okay, so total over blue is going to be equal to, we don't know the total, so that's our B value. That's what we're looking for. And 6, or again, we turn that into an improper of 24/7. You could also be using the decimal. Is equal to, now here you could use either one as long as it's blue and total. You could use 5 1/4 and 8.75, or you could use the more easier numbers and simpler numbers, the 2 and the 3 and the 5 there. So I'm going to use this row because that's the easier numbers. So blue is 3 and the total is 5. So now I can do my cross multiplication. So 3b is equal to, and here I'm just going to write this out, 27/4 times 5 over 1. Remember, every whole number can be put over 1. 3b is equal to 27 times 5. 27 times 5 is equal to 135 divided by 4. Let's see what that is. 135 divided by 4. That's an easy enough number. Cool. So 3b is equal to 33.75, did that say? Yes. Last but not least, get that b isolated by dividing both sides by 3. Divide 3, and we get 11.25 as our answer. All right, so last final step here to find this missing one, which I'll call C. I can do that total, 11.25 minus the 6.75 to get C. So 11.25 minus the 6.75 equals 4.5. And that is how you do a table problem. Lots of steps involved, not the most fun thing I've ever done, but now you know.